you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, and but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2 3 years, four. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
Of Canelo, but they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table.
Y'all act like, oh, he ain't got no power. If he don't knock out Bud, he's gonna lose. What makes you say that? Well, he's been winning by decision without knocking out people. He's had the higher fight IQ than everybody he's fought.
Saul Canelo Alvarez has just sent shockwaves through the boxing world after dropping a massive bombshell regarding his highly anticipated fight with Terrence "Bud" Crawford, declaring that he will retire if he loses to the undefeated American superstar.
Retirement on anyone or speak about retirement when they're not ready, but has retirement ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that?
I always say like 37 is good time to go. It's not because I can be in the boxing anymore, but sometimes you need to do something else. So I'm being in October I turned 20 years as a professional fighter. So it's meant
a long time.
A lot of years. So, but we'll see.
You're the face of boxing, and you've been professional for 20 years. Does the fear of kind of walking away ever weigh on you, because boxing is so your identity?
Yeah.
Does the thought of walking away and losing that part of yourself make you want to stay in the game for longer?
No, I think boxing give me so much, and you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2 3 years, four. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
This statement has instantly raised the stakes of what was already being billed as one of the most historic clashes in modern boxing.
Boxing Doctor News, hold on to your gloves. Fight fans, Canelo Alvarez is gearing up for a blockbuster bout against Terrence Crawford this September. The undisputed super middleweight champ is making history as the first ever two-time undisputed king at 168. But here's the real knockout. Canelo's hinting at hanging up his gloves soon. He's giving himself just 3 more years in the ring, aiming to retire at 37. Why? Because he wants to leave on his own terms, not when boxing tells him to. And get this, he's not doing it for money or legacy. It's all about the love of the sport. But before he calls it quits, we might see him face off against David Benavidez or even Jake Paul. Who do you think Canelo should fight next? Drop your predictions in the comments.
Canelo, a 4-division world champion and arguably the face of the sport for more than a decade, has always carried himself with supreme confidence.
Well, it looks like it's the end of an era. Canelo Alvarez spoke about his retirement plans and has confirmed that the end is near and that his time inside the ring is coming to an end relatively soon. Canelo Alvarez said that he is now in a stage wherein he's also thinking a lot about how he wants to focus as well as enjoy the fruits of his labor, not just for himself but for his family as well. The Mexican fighter who made his professional boxing debut at the age of 15 years old and has been professionally fighting for almost 20 years now said the following, and I quote, "From the age of 28 to 29, this is the age where I have felt best. I've always said that at 37 years old is a good age to enjoy what I have done with my family, other things in my career, and that's what I say. But I said I would debut at 18 and I did it at 15.
But his latest admission shows just how much pressure and personal pride he has tied into this bout.
Interesting, because I think that the only dynamic that makes this fight competitive, in my opinion, is the difference in weight class. I think Canelo has been for a while a diminishing fighter. Call it age, call it whatever other things you want to call it, but I just think that the only reason he's even still around at this level is because he's avoided his top contenders in his weight class, so he's been able to still remain champion at that weight class. And now, being champion at that weight class, it has sort of brought up this big opportunity to fight a smaller, excellent world champion in Terrence Crawford. So I think when it comes to the levels of boxing, just straight from boxing perspective, I think Crawford is head and shoulders above Canelo. But they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table. I think Crawford can win the fight. And I just wonder whether he can get a decision. That's always the question with Canelo, right? Can Canelo get a decision? I mean, can Crawford get a decision over Canelo? Can anybody get a decision over Canelo? We know Bivol did, but Bivol essentially won a 10-2, 11-1 fight, and they barely gave it to him.
Yeah,
maybe
good point. Good point.
7-5.
Here's Spencer.
So that's
Paulie, there's a lot made of, jumping up 2 weight divisions. We saw Sugar Ray Leonard do it against Marvin Hagler, and the greats can actually do that, can't they? And when you see them head to head, actually, Terence Crawford, he's filled out very, very well. And you're right, if it comes down to just weight divisions, because I think that Terence Crawford is head and shoulders above, as does Simon as well when it comes to boxing IQ and ring craft. But I go, when you look at it, and we're all talking about the weight division, that could be the factor, I don't see it.
For years, Canelo has been the standard bearer of boxing, defeating the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Miguel Cotto, Sergey Kovalev, and many others.
Where the fuck did all of this Bud hype come from? Where every video I'm watching on this internet, everybody is saying that Bud is going to smoke Canelo. Look, I get it. When he was saying, I'm going to stomp a mud hole, when he's like, told Canelo, I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your ass. Bud ain't stomping shit. He ain't stomping a mud hole in shit. He may think he's going to do it. It's okay that he thinks that. It's okay that that is his intentions. But everybody online is believing this shit. Like you forgot, like Canelo's a fucking punk. And let me tell you something. Can we be honest here? Canelo was one of the most gangster motherfuckers in boxing, bro. Bro, this is the same Canelo who had a fight and was in negotiation with some motherfucking gangsters that kidnapped his brother at the time. And then went in there and beat the guy with your negotiation ransoms to get your brother released from some motherfucking mobsters. Yeah, see, y'all ain't learned. Like I said, like when Caleb Plant, he's used to smacking people and getting away with it and punking people. You see what happened when he tried to do that shit to Canelo, right? I bet you Bud won't do that to Canelo. You see when he tried to punk Canelo, you saw what Canelo did, right? When he tried to step Canelo and try to walk Canelo backwards. You see who put hands on who? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all act like Canelo's some kind of pussy who's going to get stomped on. And y'all think that y'all forget. Let's play Roy Jones' You Must Have Forgot song. Like, y'all forgetting all the titles that Canelo has won. You're forgetting all the divisions he has moved up on. And motherfucker not being dropped, not dead.
Cementing his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of his era.
I'm redoing an apartment. Had a move out. And that's why it's so hollow. My voice is so hollow. But here's the reality. Terence Crawford is so... First of all, you're comparing Terence Crawford, dog in the fight, as big as the dog, whatever Mark Twain said, right? To a movie. You're comparing it to landing on the moon. We've never landed on the moon, man. The one thing I know about men, if it feels good, we do it twice. If it feels great, we do it for a lifetime, right? You got 5 kids, right? I'm gonna just leave it there, right, Mr. Bradley? But the reality is, Crawford is too small. Crawford is too arrogant. Crawford doesn't have an intelligent ego. And that's gonna be his downfall. Yeah, Crawford's probably gonna look better. Canelo's gonna throw wide the first 4 rounds. Yeah, he gonna get hit with a stiff jab every now and again, and people gonna get excited. But the reality is, when you go back, because you referenced Golovkin, when you go back and reference Golovkin, right? That was one of the cleanest, hardest shots of that year. And Canelo just brushed it off. And here's the biggest difference between Floyd and he's the most skilled. Floyd feinted for you to throw and miss. Crawford feints to land a punch. So what does that mean, Timothy Bradley? So you're not telling the whole details. When a person feints the punch, that means their feet are planted. So what does that lead to? You got 2 flat-footed fighters standing in front of each other. And once Canelo figures that out, see, what y'all not understanding is Crawford got to land 100 punches. Canelo only got to land 20.
Yet, at 35 years old, the Mexican warrior understands the weight of time, the critics who question his ability to dominate younger, fresher opponents, and the fact that losing to Crawford, a fighter coming up from smaller weight classes, could permanently damage his reputation.
Much about Lima? What do you think?
I don't, but Boots is, I know he's young, but that guy, he trains so hard. I don't care if he's in there with someone that's 100 and 0 or 0 and 100. Like Boots train extremely hard for each fight that he has. So that's so hard to teach a fighter, that's like Boots and so young and things like that. So I mean, I don't know much about, the guys, but Boots, listen, man, Boots gonna train extremely hard and do what he do best and put it on for the city.
Yeah. And then there's obviously talk about him fighting Virgil in Virgil Ortiz in January or February.
Uh-huh.
You like that fight?
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna be honest, and it's not because I'm from Philly, but I pick Boots over all these guys, man. Boots is just like I said, man. Boots is just cut from a different cloth. I just think Boots got it all. He's a total package fighter. His how smart he is in there, his skill level. The way he see things and stuff like that. And Boots is the type of fighter. If he gets you hurt, he gonna get you out of there. So. He got the killer instinct, so yeah, definitely. I'm a ride with Boots all day long.
Mm. And just on his dad and trainer, Bozy Ennis, obviously he trained you.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a bit underrated as a coach? I mean, look at
I
his
do, man. I mean, yeah, 100%, man. I think. You gotta think about it, man. He raised champions. You got Boots, you got Boots brothers. They all won belts. Bozy is a insane trainer, man. They all so smart and they all fight so many different ways. So yeah, man, I think Bozy. I mean, all them guys deserve more credit than what they get. You know what I mean? But you got someone behind a computer talking.
Crawford, on the other hand, is entering this mega fight with the hunger of a man seeking to etch his name into the all-time greats list by dethroning a living legend.
In that kind of shape. And what's contributing to that is the fact that he can get in shape without worrying about drastic weight cutting. So this is peak Crawford. And I've been saying this forever. It's the reason why Canelo Alvarez is so effective at 168. You fight better when you are your most healthy. Crawford has never felt so comfortable. He has never felt so good. I'm this damn close. The only thing that's stopping me is every time I switched up at the end, I got it wrong. I did it with Errol Spence. I had Terrence Bud Crawford for a damn year. Switched up at the very end during the media workout, got it wrong. I'm still paying for that to this day. I switched up, I cannot believe, I switched up at the end, Bivol Canelo. I had Bivol for many years. I said if they fought, I got Bivol over Canelo. And at the very end, I switched. I said, you know what? Canelo's too great. His resume is better than Bivol. I got Canelo.
Already hailed as one of the most skilled and complete boxers of this generation, Crawford shocked the world by dismantling Errol Spence Jr., and now he's moving up again to take on the challenge many thought was impossible.
Coaching. I think Canelo has got by with his natural talent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at the William Skull fight, he was talking, I think, the Netflix or the Ring, talking about it's very difficult when somebody run. It's your job to watch film and see, how to stop William Skull. You know, and one thing about Canelo Alvarez, you know, he don't like to engage until he traps you on the ropes. That's one thing I did when the film study broke down. He's very lazy. He don't like to jab to get you in position. One thing Canelo like to do is to move forward, you know, move his head off the line to put you in position, to put you on the ropes. And he feel like he gets you on the ropes in the corner, then he may throw a jab or throw a hook. And then when he feel like, you tired of moving, then he'll run combinations. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like, like when you got Canelo in the center of the ring, he ain't really trying to make shit shake. Especially in the beginning of the fight. He ain't trying to jab with you. He just really trying to stalk you and, get off and put you in. His whole thing is to put you in position with your back against the ropes. And then, Canelo Alvarez, he wants to attack. That's his game. Then he wants to attack.
With Canelo's retirement threat looming, the fight no longer feels like just another super fight. It has become a career-defining moment, one that could either immortalize Canelo further or end his career on the grandest stage. Fans are now buzzing with speculation. Is Canelo truly serious about walking away if he loses, or is this a psychological tactic to add extra drama and pressure, both for himself and Crawford? Analysts argue that Canelo's pride and competitive spirit make his words believable. He has nothing left to prove, financially or professionally, and a loss might convince him to pass the torch and focus on life outside the ring. Others, however, believe that even if he loses, the allure of big paydays and his love for competition could pull him back into the squared circle. Regardless, his declaration has injected a new level of intensity into the buildup. This fight isn't just about championships or pound-for-pound supremacy anymore. It's about legacy, pride, and possibly the final chapter of a boxing icon's career. Should Canelo win, he further cements his spot among the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. But if Crawford manages to pull off the upset, fans may witness the curtain close on Canelo's legendary career, making this showdown one of the most dramatic events in modern boxing history.